Hey, it's Cordy. Today we are going to build a little bit. I started making this kind of like butterfly themed space. I wanted to do something with the glowy butterfly once I saw that one existed. Um, I am doing my response to the weekly prompt that I put in Patreon every week. It starts on a Tuesday, and this week was to implement some pets into your house. So I saw this really neat glowing butterfly moth type thing, and I thought to myself, you know what? I need to make something to utilize a bunch of these butterflies and these moths. And the game literally has so many of them with different colors, so many of them glitter and sparkle and glow. So I wanted to not go the traditional route and make something, you know, tree lined or forested or outside. I thought something like a little darker would help to contrast them a little bit to really see the beauty of the pet. Hey, crazy cat, how are you tonight? So in um, doing that, I started kind of like with a waterfall type entrance, and then I started to kind of play with different ways to make water. You use rugs a lot, and I just wanted to try some different things. So there's kind of a little bit of mess going on in here with like the starts of different types of ideas. I'm doing okay today. Glad it's Friday. So here I started with using the slate cobblestones and putting them down as water. And then I wanted to add some of the lights. So that actually wound up being these Mechagon split light. I think they make nice patterns. So I did buy a couple more of those to use. I don't think I'll be able to utilize it in this build because I have to even see how much it would be to get more of these. But this ornate cosmic table is really very cool once you kind of play with it enough. It's very temperamental. It didn't work over the slate stones. They must be too thick. But to get this pattern and it really makes it look like the motion of like, water moving down a stream. So I definitely do want to implement that somewhere. I just don't know that this is the build for it. This I thought just came out kind of neat, although I still have to cover up a bunch of it. I liked the little fish that hung out in this particular um, pond, so I might keep that. And I really did very much so like this Caribor, the small Caribor fountain for like a standing pool of water. So I did get a couple more of those, and I think I'm going to utilize um, some of those and change some things around in here. So a lot of different ideas and ways to handle water um, to get kind of like the effect that I was looking for here. And I just really loved these Drenai crystals, so definitely gonna place some more of these around, kind of continue that like glowy look. And obviously probably more fountains to just bring some water down. So I'm gonna delete some of the things that I have in here and try to make it a little more cohesive. So the cosmic table is going to go, and then I'll fix up this a little bit now that I purchased some more boulders so I can kind of hide this a little better if I wanted to. And on this side also. I don't know that I was ready for it to be completely um, rock based. I'm not sure yet, but I don't think that's what I fully want to go with. I just don't know that this little pond really matches the rest of what I have. So I think I'm gonna get rid of it for now. We can always add something like that back if I wanted. Start with doing some more of the slate cobblestones. I do like how they came out looking in terms of getting the water going here. It's definitely a lot easier to use, I would say, than having to mess around with the rugs, which were always a pain. So this is definitely like a pleasant alternative. Try to randomize the sizes here a little bit. This keeps breaking for me. I have to reload again. It only lets me see a couple of the dye colors at once instead of the whole list. It's been glitching in a pretty continuous fashion for me, but sometimes reloading seems to bring up all the options again. Yeah, here we go. Kind of annoying like to not see them all when you're trying to do something. Here, I will add another one of these eye lamp things. And these are from Mechagon. Where did we go? Here, over here. And I did make the other one a larger so that you could really see the patterns. I'm going to do that again. I'll drop it down here. Let's sink it in a bit. I think I probably need to angle this up a little bit so that it doesn't get completely lost. Yeah, I think that looks so much going on here. Maybe that's too much. I'm going to cover this guy over a little bit more so I will get another bowl there. I don't like that one. All these are, I messed this up. My list here. Walk around one. There we go. That'll be a better size, I think. Yeah. And you can still see the lights that would kind of add. You can see it like kind of simmers. It just, I don't know, I think it adds a little bit of movement so that it doesn't look completely flat. We'll add some more of our cobblestone. I'm going to cover over here this way and then move that. Turn them a little bit so they don't look completely the same as we go. We could try to move this one over here so that it catches more of the water. And hide this, kind of. Always click an extra button. See if we can get this to go underneath the water. Okay. So we'll still need to add some across the top here. Maybe. Hold on. May look better a different way. I think that definitely helps the color a little bit. No, that's like a already kind of dark water. And we have some of our boulders here. We'll sprinkle them down a little bit and use a couple. Kind of like to randomize them a little bit too. So they're not all completely the same. Round guy too. Mix him in there. You don't want to take up too much of the pool because there's not very much of it even at its largest size here. Back that up a little bit. Anybody building anything fun or different with all of the kind of new stuff we've been unlocking and given? Well, there's so much scroll stuff if you've got that kind of theme going on. There's been a lot of really neat stuff. I saw a lot of super cool skulls that were added, which I think is great, particularly with the fall and Halloween coming up. Can't wait to see all the fun things people do with those items. I know that there was some new coffins too, which was sorely needed. And we can even add your sewing area came out really very nice. You did a great job on that. That must have taken such a long time, like painstaking little pieces there. I make this smaller because I want the splashback over here, but not in an overwhelming way. It's a little too small. It's 80%. Yeah, that looks nice. And I do like that small carob or fountain just for how it looks moving. I just wish it wasn't so large that I couldn't hide that better. Yeah, Elemental did come up with a great idea with that. Was that one of every color in your sewing room? Hey, Elemental, how are you doing this fine evening, Texas? Are you feeling well? You're alive? Well, you know what? That's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm glad that you're doing well, though. I know that the miserable process you've been going through there. I hope that your recovery is quicker and easier than you were thinking it would be. Yeah, 10 out of 10, but you're 10 out of 10 don't recommend it. I get that. I'm just glad that you got yourself to the hospital when you needed to be. So many people ignore those things. It is beautiful. She did a really great job with a rendition of your tailoring space. It looks like she got like one of every single color too. It's impressive. Well, it looked like all of them. You fooled me because I really thought that you had every single color that they made in your tailoring boutique there. I was thoroughly impressed by it. The amount of time that you put into that, getting it all to come together. Yeah, you did have an ace accent. I feel like it's all trial and error, cat lady. If I'm not fucking around and finding out sometimes, I'm not, I don't think I'm doing it right. I think that's part of the beauty of it. Oh, thank you all for coming along. We're experimenting here, but I think this is going to be a beautiful place for those glowing butterflies to hang out once I get all the pieces where they're supposed to go. I had another one. Get that piece hidden. Oh, we've missed you too. It has not been the same without you being around. So I'm glad that you were able to pop in today. So it looks like it might be all right. I like this one. Oh, it kind of makes it look like the water's a little deeper by pushing it further down than this guy on this side. Like this one doesn't look quite as deep, so I do like that on this side. I gotta build with a different character. Like I'm used to being on my shaman, and I like basically see right through her. Well, it's good that you have that many people attending to you. You had a pretty serious surgery and everything, so I'm glad you're getting fantastic care. Thank you, Gator Vamp, for the follow. I could do my mm, gonna switch at a round boulder 'cause it's a little chunkier, but I can still make it small. Whoop, not big. How's it going, Gator? Working on like a butterfly kind of cave. I do a prompt once a week on Patreon, totally free, but it's like a weekly building prompt. And this week was let's incorporate pets into some of our builds. And I was thinking of what neat pet I could use, like something, a little different. And I stumbled across this glowing kind of like moth and then realized there were so many of them with so many different colors that I needed to give them a home. And I know it's probably not real life accurate because I don't know that butterflies are happy or thrive in dark environments. But I figure we're building in a place where they have magic and fantasy, so my butterflies might like being in the dark a little bit. But I thought it would help show off their glowiness. Thank you, Wolf, for subscribing. That's super kind. I appreciate that. I made this taller because I wanted to give the water, this little pool, a little more depth, and now I don't want to take up all the space with the rocks, but I need them tall. I think I could put them on their side too. That's not a bad idea. See if you get funky. That kind of works. Angle. These angles always get me when they're at a weird, when they look weird and I think I'm going to turn it one way and it winds up turning a different direction. Not you. Maybe this one? Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the last one I tried, but that was the one. Another one of these guys. Do I have an add-on? Yes. So the add-on that I am using, it's really just because I like that feature. It does other things. It's called Advanced Decorating Tools, but I don't always find that the other things work that great. Like hypothetically, if I wanted to rotate, I have this set up to rotate in 5-degree chunks. However, it's not always 5 degrees and you can't really rely on it. Sometimes it'll be 4 degrees, sometimes it'll be like 7. So I don't know if it's a me problem, a design problem, or how it integrates with Blizzard. But this little piece down here to be able to swap in and out favorites so I don't have to go to the decorate mode and then go back up here to the house test every time I want to switch items makes it worth running it. It also it does copy and paste. So it doesn't copy and paste the rotation, but it copies and pastes the item. So like if I wanted like another one of these, I could just go Control C, Control V, but it doesn't orient it or scale it or anything. It kind of pops it out there. Well, thank you for stopping by, Texas. I hope you feel better. I'm definitely thinking of you and hoping that your recovery goes really fast. So definitely pop in. We miss you. The Discord's quiet without you. So I would highly recommend the advanced decorating tools pretty much even just for this, for the ability to copy and paste too. Those are nice little additions, I think. I'll make this guy smaller. You can fit him in over here without taking up too much of our pool. Let's see if I can angle this one a little bit. Or rotate, I guess, doesn't work. We angled it already. That's good, and we're still covered. Oh, we got a little piece sticking out over here. But that's an easy one to hide. We can really put anything in this little spot back here. just the corner of this Haribo fountain there. I definitely think we have it coming along nicely here. And I would like to put maybe, let's see, put these kind of close to each other. I would have set another one on this side, but I think I will go over on this side, put another one of these pools. And to do that, I will get rid of some of these rocks. Thank you. Did I think of using the opals? I do have a bunch of the opals. I have not tried using them as crystals, but I can look at them. I bought a whole mess of them, and then I was worried that I was going to wind up coming up against the budget amount, so I have like a ton of these just chilling in the bank. That does look like a nice crystal. Probably the diamond one, I think, would be the winner. Let's see here. I guess we could do something like that, maybe. Like in the wall. I'll probably turn this one too to look more diamondy shaped. That's neat. Maybe we'll add some of those in and intersperse them here as we go. I do like the blue. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with all of these, but I felt like I needed them in my life, you know? I just bought a whole bunch of them. I was thinking maybe tiles or something because I like the look of them, but and I kind of, even though I really personally wasn't a huge fan of the decor duel, I did suffer through a bunch of it because I thought, well, I might need marl as we move into the new season because of all the new stuff that I'll probably have to purchase with that currency. But I could buy a bunch of decor with with the old currency for the marl. So that's or for the decor duel. I forget what they called that. Let me grab another fountain here. I like these ones the best. These small stonework fountains for the actual kind of like falling water. I feel like they're probably one of the easiest to actually hide. Cover this up. Bring this down. Oops. I can't be good. I don't know what I just moved. This is why an undo button would be ideal. I don't know if anybody else feels like an undo button would be a fantastic thing or why we don't get that. But I feel like that would be literally the most ideal thing if I could have an undo button for those moments where I've definitely moved something, but I have no idea what I was moving when I thought I was moving the fountain. I'll find something stupid somewhere and I'll know, oh yeah, that must have been the thing I messed up on. I know I'm not a developer, so I can't say what goes in any way to, you know, coding and making these things, but it floors me that like undo button was not one of the things that that was like an initial, oh, we're going to release a thing. We're going to give them the ability to do all this stuff. I don't know why undo button wasn't wasn't just a part of that initial kit. Unless it's hard to do that, I don't know. Gonna bring this guy right up here so that it looks like we have a taller run of water as opposed to just kind of like the shorter ones that we had going on here. So I think that's nice because it looks like a little like it adds a little bit different, something a little different here. And now we got to cover it over. I kind of like using these big hilltop boulders to make them small. Usually I would use cobblestone to like like here with the waterfalls. I'll use cobblestone because I'm trying to cover it over and hide it and then more cobblestones like up top. And I think that works really well in that spot. But here, since it doesn't really matter if we wind up jutting out a bit more, the shape of this kind of like I can do it with like less budget a little bit here. Like if we do it like that and push it in, it doesn't matter as much if this sticks out because we're doing like a rocky side. Make it bigger and see if I can get. Kind of get a good portion of that. I might break it up into two pieces. Looks like I actually might be able to use a couple of those and hide it a little better than one big one. It does look like it'll hide nice. Another one to the bottom. And then I already saw we got to fix the side a little bit because that didn't cover over as well. Oh yeah, definitely. If you give it a go, you have to share your kind of like your version of it. I love seeing how everybody does something like a little different. Oops, make this guy a little smaller. Yes, maybe this flat boulder might be able to come in here without too much disruption. I have to make him smaller though. I don't want it to. I don't really like that. What about the round guy? Will you blend in a little better? Probably go with another one or two of the hilltops. I actually probably trying to get it as small as I can, but where it'll still cover most of that. I don't know that rotating might really help. Oh, if I did use the cobblestone, I don't know that this is going to look as nice as it does in other fountains because yeah, maybe use a bunch of them. Hmm, go back to just the rock. You always, like get in your own mind, you're like, I need to make this totally perfect, but in actuality, we've built like a cave. It probably doesn't need to be perfect, like literally perfectly covered without having something sticking out of it here. Probably all right. We'll still try to make it as small as a cutout as possible, but do a little smaller and it still work. Yeah, if I try to blend this in a little bit so it doesn't just look like it's sticking out all by itself. It'll look maybe a little more supported. Okay, here we can probably add another boulder standing up maybe in this corner to make it look like it's not just standing there by itself. This is actually covering this, I think. Moved it. Okay. This over here. Definitely moved something around here. When I was doing all the finagling here. Cover that little bit here. Alright. I was trying not to encroach terribly into this space. Rotate that a little bit. And then here I wanted to add another one of those Caribor, those tiny Caribor ones. I liked how these pools kind of came out here. Where are you? Here you are. We'll make them bigger. Put them down. And now we'll get our slate rocks in there because that's kind of what we've been going with so far for our water. So I don't really want to change it to rugs. However, if that were the look that you like, you could certainly cover this over with one rug instead of playing with the slate cobblestones. And I'm just adding that, like hypothetically, if you wanted to, if you brought it up enough, it has its own pool, and then you could just like add rocks around it. But I kind of like giving it a little bit more texture that I feel like we get with the cobblestone under there. And they go in kind of like easy peasy, like we're not doing anything crazy or special with them. You can put them kind of like in any pattern that makes you happy, so long as you drop it. Oops, that's too much. Like underneath the water. This does glitch for me every now and again. I don't know if that happens with you guys with any of your Caribou fountains, but it the top animation stops sometimes. They're very weird. It'll start back up again somewhere along the way. I'm gonna make this really tiny for a second so I can grab on my cobblestone and hold it up. Hey, Jester, what is another name for a Worgen subtlety rogue? Anybody want to give it a guess? Um, I don't know. What is it? You have to tell us. A subwoofer. I like that. That's adorable. That's a good one. A subwoofer. I'm gonna have to remember that and use it later. I know Wolf likes that one too. That is a good one. Unknown disappointing trees. Mm. Anyone want to take a stab at that one? I'm not the best with the word game. The club contact. That's another really good one. I appreciate that. That's funny. Tony hated that joke. A Worgen Resto Druid. I don't know, is it going to be another woofer? Because I liked that. That was funny. Oh my god. That's funny. That's a good one too. You come up with all the jokes while you're waiting for raid to restart or your downtime for the mythic keys. Making everybody's day with those. That's hysterical. Thank you for adding some levity. That's great. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. You would be definitely a bard class and like Final Fantasy or something. Probably joke. Like sometimes it's way too serious. Nice to have some of that light moments too. That's fantastic. I feel like I've never heard some of those, so I did make the assumption that you did make them yourself. Did people think you just found them online and used them all, or you were using like a program? I like the musically themed one. That was funny. I know there is some add-on that will tell jokes during downtime of raids. I've seen that before, but it's nice that you're a real live person making the joke. You probably have the best ones for like you always see those for Valentine's Day and stuff sometimes when people come up with the funny like cards. It's like if it was a Valentine's card and it has like funny things for the classes. I bet you would make a bunch of hysterical ones like that. I think one more of these will fill this up and then we'll bounce it up and then try to cover over our edges. Dog, hot coffee, and werewolf. You've got all the puns. This one will stick out a bit, but that's okay because we're going to cover it over anyway. With the rock. A Worgen Resto, a healer bark. I like that. I am as a resto shaman. I don't think we can be Worgen. I've never seen that, but I do think that's funny. The healer. I'll bring this up to give our water some more dimension here, and then we'll cover these bits over. Wow, that's crazy. That would have been wild to be able to make all the original classes playable across all of the races. I like player housing, so for me that's an easy choice. But I bet a lot of people feel differently about that. But I just like this really like quiet, creative side of building that World of Warcraft kind of gave us here the opportunity to be a little more creative. Got a nice little outlet for that. I was very much into pushing keys as fast as I could and as high as I could before. And while I still enjoy doing keys, it's like a much slower, I'll get there when I get there pace instead of feeling like I need to do it all right now and I need to be as best as I can be, as fast as I can be. I never really think of that way for druids, but you're not wrong. I mean, it is like a multitude of skins because of all of their forms. Those new Harroner ones are really neat when I've seen those druid forms. I have a resto druid, but it's like your typical like night elf. I liked that you were able to put like leaves and flowers in their hair at the time. Yeah, I main a resto shaman, and I guess they do have a lot of forms because they do the wolf form, and we have the ascendants. Although I have to say, like, I wasn't a huge fan initially of those. Oh, and the totems, you're right. The totems are all very unique for each class, or for each race of shaman, I guess I should say. And they are all super unique. And they're just even the animations that go into all of the I mean, I guess even the melee classes and stuff too have all their own animations, but it's definitely a lot of stuff for them to do and build upon. And then with housing, I felt like for the longest time we didn't have a whole lot of stuff with housing. We were kind of like in a slow burn there for a little bit. And then all of a sudden it was like everything all at once. And it was like overwhelming that it came with the new season and everything too. Like I personally would probably like to see housing more like their drop be more of something like in the half instead of like at the start of a season. Because it's like people who like housing still like other stuff too. And it winds up being like, well, what am I going to pick that I'm going to do and not do? You think it was made, you modeled after Animal Crossing? I would have thought that like, I don't know, but I would have thought that World of Warcraft has been around for like a way longer time than Animal Crossing. I don't know that for a fact. I kind of made that up just on assumption that like I don't remember playing Animal Crossing. But I guess maybe when I was younger you played Animal Crossing. I'm not sure now. That was 99. Then it was definitely before World of Warcraft because that was I'm trying to think when Classic came out. I remember being in college when it came out. So I bet a couple years after that, huh? 2004. I guess they could have ripped off that a little bit. See, Animal Crossing I still see now in the stores and stuff. Um, like my nephew wanted that for I think it was for his birthday or Christmas recently. And so I guess maybe that's why in my mind that was like the newer game. I don't know that I played Animal Crossing in any great way to know that. So this is like an interesting little tidbit for me for sure. I didn't know that. I definitely like the changes that the the game makes with respect to day and night. I even like it when it rains. I like the changes that you get with some of that. I think it definitely adds, particularly with housing. I think people like that. I want to say it's the inky black, so that you can make it look like a super dark nighttime when you want. I'll have to look at Animal Crossing out of curiosity. That's wild. I wouldn't have thought that that would have been a dark area, given like what Bastion wound up being, like turning into. But yeah, bright angels and everything over there. I don't always love everything they do, but I have to say I do think the designers put a lot of time and thought into everything. And wow, we can be upset that there's glitches to this or that, or bugs. It's a lot. Like a whole new world sometimes with this here. All these pieces here. One more here. The black guy tiny. I did play Shadowlands. I don't think I noticed that. Hmm. I feel like I need to slow down and look at more of the environmental pieces. I'm gonna have to try that. I'll scoop up an inky black post and let it go. So reset the character position in sky textures if we jump towards the clouds on a ground mount. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna have to give that a try later. The zone of action was to prevent player death. Huh. If I can find a way to kill myself falling off something, don't worry, and I will. I don't know if anybody else is as klutzy as me. We were, I think, crazy cat ladies like that too, because we were at like touring someone's house and had the pleasure of like a jump type puzzle, and we both failed so epically at that. It was like comical almost. I you scooped up screenshots too. That's great. Right, crazy cat. At least I know that you will also fail with me, and we will laugh together at, in our misery of not being able to get to the other side. It was fun though. At least we were able to eventually make it. They had to give us the handicap. We had the what they put there for us, like little beams to get across because we were like just atrocious at that. It was the beam. One day we're gonna visit somebody's house and that walkthrough Wednesday, and they're gonna have some kind of epic jump we're gonna have to watch from the floor. Six here. I went too low with them. I think it's coming along though. You can put screenshots in what is I think we have an off topic. Yeah. I was trying to think. We don't have a share, but we have an off topic. You can drop it in there. I'll definitely see the screenshots since you already scooped them up. Definitely check that out after this stream. I always put so much thought into stuff that you don't think about. Oh, definitely gonna look at it. Let's see here. Well, oh, with the Inkley Black Potion. Oh, the sky texture. I'm sure that there's reasons for most of this stuff that's beyond like the non-technical person. Like for me, the things are like, why can't I have an undo button or things like that is what I think I get more perturbed about than probably a lot of their other design stuff. I'm sure it's not easy to do all the things that they do and that come together. You know what? One area I really disliked thoroughly was the snowy space. That was like the literal work to try to, what was that with the void something, the assault or whatever it was? There was like the mushroom world and then the snowy area. I was definitely not a fan of the snowy space. That was super hard to see. I did not enjoy that. I don't know if anybody else had issues with that or if that was just like a me problem, but that was literally, I think, like the absolute worst. 10 out of 10 would not recommend that again. It was like I would rush through the quest so much just because I wanted to be able to see again. And it was just like whatever I need to do to get however many, what was it, like 4 or 5 of them? You had to do like whatever it was to clear your vision. So I'd say that would be my area of not happy with how they handled textures. I found that just like a miserable process. Do you have a problem with the darker areas? Is there any settings that you can change that would allow you to see a little bit better with that kind of thing? Um, 'Cause I know they put in stuff like for motion sickness and whatnot. Well, that would be the worst. For I get lost in caves on a good day when I can see it. Forget about it would be I would never leave. I would have to hurt out of every single cave if it was completely black. I would like be stuck forever in whatever whatever place it is. I'll be it. I'll be totally and utterly stuck. Whatever quest it is. Sometimes I have to say, like when I was questing in old areas, if it came to a quest where I had to go in a cave, I would skip it if I could because I was just like, that's the worst. Like I get in the cave and I can't get out of the cave. Like wholly incompetent with things like that sometimes. Well, I think we've got a really nice foundation here for some finishing touches and all of the pet. Oh, I forgot to cover this. Oh, that's okay. Always finding something here. There we go. All better. The cave map. Yeah, I still find it kind of like a pain to figure out the cave, but having a map does make it infinitely better. But then again, I have problems reading the map in general, like getting back around where I need to be. Well, I lost. I lost my fountain. Bad news is I have so many fountains that trying to find the one that is this one to make it bigger probably will be not ideal. Oh, so many stonework fountains. I really wish that this worked in a way that was like, I don't know, proximity based maybe. That'd be nice. That's probably hard for coding. But when you've lost a thing you need to click on that's layered under a bunch of stuff, it'd be nice to not have to click on 52 of the same thing to see which one brings up the thing. Oh my god. What if I lost it? It is funny, I think, some of the quality of life things that just would have made sense to me that, oh, maybe this is it. But it's not 200%, it's only 100%, so it can't be that one. Fountain. I went down the list. Oh, there it is, I think. There. You have water. You have some splash. You have some splash. Our little pools have splashing. Great. I realize that I have kept you guys for way more than the hour. We're almost at an hour and 20 minutes. They should play the game. You're right, crazy cat lady. Sometimes you think, did they even play this game? Do we even play the same game? I don't know if I have another one of these. I might have to buy one. Oh, I do. I must have thought ahead and bought these because I wanted to fill this in. What else are you missing? I think like in the center. Move this one over. Move this one. Thank you. That's filling in the space. I think there's one more piece right here that looks kind of naked still. Let's just fill in. Let me see it from this side. I wanted to keep it filled in. One of these is too far. This one? Where are you going? Oh, you're the middle one. I'm trying to get this far guy on the end, but I can't grab him. I know you're up there. I'm gonna have to click the button for the scrying pool. Oh, I don't know what I'm moving. Oh, where did I get you from? Alright, I'm being nitpicky. That fills the area probably good enough. I think I'll add in some more of these lights. Maybe one here and one over here to continue with that look. I don't know what I'm changing right now. I'm just pressing buttons. And then maybe add a little bit of water here. I kind of build this out a little bit. And then go in with our crystals. And then our butterflies everywhere. And I will hide all the butterfly beds probably. I do have some of the lily pads. I guess I could. I do want to also come in here with some floral things, like the hosta bushes. I really like those for like kind of in some crevices and get that looking good. Um, but I kept you guys an hour and a half, and I try to only do an hour. And I know you guys are busy and have stuff to do with your night as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, Wise Jester. Thank you for the information about stuff I had no idea about, as well as the funny jokes that you told. Wolf, thank you for joining us, and everyone else. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see some of your fun builds, and I'll definitely share this one once I get it finished. But thank you for spending some time with me, and for helping to make building a little more interactive, a little less lonely. So thank you guys.